are.
Welcome to Talking Small Press Comics once again. This is episode 19 with Steve Keeter and myself, Larned Justin. And we're excited. We got another jam-packed show. So stay with us and you'll find out about some really cool comics. Right, Steve?
You bet. We've been receiving a lot of comics too.
Yep.
Partly because we ordered some of them, but
Yeah. Well, we paid for some,
but hopefully the word's getting out too. And you guys just keep sending your stuff. You're great, and we'll review it. And we're ready to go.
Yep. The first one up is going to be the Masked Avenger from Canada, actually.
Yeah. Alexandre Michaud.
Mm-hmm.
Issue number 6.
You know what? I thought when I first started looking at this that the Masked Avenger was a superhero, but he's not. He's a wrestler. Look at Look at the picture. You can see the wrestling mask. And then he sent me a sticker. So on the sticker, you can actually at the bottom see the wrestling boots. So the Masked Avenger is a wrestler, which I didn't quite catch right away, but he is.
Yeah, and this is one heck of a zine. I mean,
oh my gosh, the artwork in here.
Professional, beyond professional, better than professional. I mean, this is...
this Corey Fuhrman.
Hey, you watch it? Is that the same one I'm looking at?
I think that's Page.
Yeah, the Satanic Mummies.
Satanic Mummies of Chicago. And I used to live in Chicago, and I can guarantee you there's a number of satanic mummies in Chicago, at least when I was there.
Yeah. This lady here is a nun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, if all nuns were that good looking, I think church would be a lot more popular.
Well, I went to Catholic school, and I can tell you they were not, but it would have been great if they were.
You bet. But it's a great issue, and
this is what amazes me. If you just look at this one panel of the horses in the carriage, the amount of work that's in that for a small, just a quick read panel is amazing. Look at that.
It really is. It really is. It kind of deserves to be seen at a larger size,
Yeah, but it's just, the artwork is just amazing.
The full-size artwork must be just knockout.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to see that.
Unbelievable.
There's another, look at the horses here.
The detail is incredible.
This guy is a real pro. Really.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
And actually, you can see the Masked Avenger right here.
Yeah.
He is in the story right there.
And he's not afraid of anything. He'll tackle satanic mummies or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
then later on,
adventures are amazing.
Corey Fuhrman has another story, which is Lancelot. Now, I was trying to figure out, is this the standard Sir Lancelot, that's in the Knights of the Round Table?
Yeah,
but
I've been trying to figure that out too.
He does not seem to be that same Lancelot, I don't think. He is a knight, but I don't think he's intended to be, Sir Lancelot of the Round Table.
Yeah, it's not exactly the same. Not like you would have seen in medieval type movies.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't dress in armor and all that kind of thing.
And he goes up against. So here we go again. This guy he can draw beautiful women.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, this particular beautiful woman develops a long snout and becomes a wolf.
And he can draw scary skulls. Look at that.
Yeah. And there's a gritty look to it all. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
dark and it's gritty and it is
It's just
outstanding.
outstanding.
I couldn't recommend this scene. Corey Fuhrman. What an amazing. You need
What
to
a great artist. Look at the waterfall.
take a note and remember this guy.
Look at that waterfall. Isn't that something?
Utterly realistic.
Yeah. Really good. And then there's another story in here.
Part 2.
Yeah. If I can find this by
Of the,
Del Barris.
It's the Kid Cop Squad.
Kids Cop Squad by Del Barris.
Del.
And here, look at this. This artwork is kind of just the opposite of what Fuhrman was doing. This is very clean cut.
Very clean, very neat.
Very
nice.
neat. You know, there's no real line shading, you know. But excellent work.
It's a wild, kind of a fascinating story to it. It's kind of the origin story of the Kid Cop Squad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what you got is you've got, well, there's like it looks like robots and stuff like that in this story, and
Right.
people going through transformations, but these people who are being transformed are adults. They're adult people. So I lost track a little while. I'm reading the story and I said, what happened to the kids? Where's the Kid Cop Squad? Where are they?
There they are.
And there they are.
Yep. In the last page.
Yep.
Yep.
So the adults are transformed
into the kids.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I had a machine like that. I could go back a few
I wouldn't
years.
mind, going back to the cop kids. Yeah.
Just a beautiful zine, just a wonderful.
This drawing here was what made me think he was a superhero. I was looking at this and, oh yeah, it's another superhero story.
Yeah.
But
He's
not
a hero.
really.
He's a hero and he's tough. And,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've been reading the last few issues and the adventures. He goes through a lot. He comes up against monsters and vampires and all kinds of stuff. And it's not your typical comic book, you know. So
here's a novel, an ad for a Masked Avenger novel, right there. So there's a lot to this.
Yeah, there's a lot of text fiction in previous issues. This issue is different because this issue is almost completely comics. The last few issues had a lot of text fiction in them, which was really good. And stories by Alejandro Michaud, Alex, let's say Alex for short. And but this particular issue has a very little
and he
text
said
fiction.
The inspiration, I guess, for the Masked Avenger was Santo. There's a whole bunch of Santo comic covers.
Right, and there's all these posters, these movie posters.
Yeah, or movie poster. I guess it was a movie, not a comic.
Or a series. And it looks like a nostalgia. Before the Master Avenger, there was El Santo. El Santo. And yeah, it looks like a series of movies.
Okay, it's probably
Mexican movies.
Mexican movies, yeah.
Yeah. That's what it looks like. That's cool to see the posters. There is a little bit of text. Larry Johnson has an article on Mark Merlin, who I remember reading the adventures of Mark Merlin in the DC Comics of the 1960s.
That one I do not remember. But interesting
I saw
article.
A few of them, but he was in House of Secrets. House of Secrets.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes you can find copies of House of Secrets, you know, at your local comic shop, and you know they're not expensive. You know, they weren't as big as Superman or the Avengers or whatever, but you can find copies, and sometimes you find some real gems there. And what I found interesting, because I didn't read the entire series.
Yeah.
Was that Mark Merlin, who's a magician, I think, been a while since I read them, and Larry explains it all here, but he died. He died at one point and was reborn, resurrected as an entirely different character. Prince
Really?
Rahman.
Oh, okay.
When he's reborn, he looks like this.
Ah, okay.
He comes kind of reincarnated, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that until I read Larry Johnson's article. So fascinating history. Larry's a great writer. Always a pleasure to read his stuff.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see here. This is $5.99, and we'll have his contact information up in Canada.
That's a deal.
In the description.
That is a deal. $5.99 is a deal.
$5.99, yeah.
For a great book like this.
Canadian or American? I don't know, but
that's right. Well, that's a good question there. Usually when I order something from Canada, I just put like one extra stamp on it, and that usually works.
Yeah. I don't know how many pages this is, but it's fairly thick. Yeah. You can see that.
Nice quality printing and production.
Quality.
Nice binding there.
Yeah. Yep. All the way through.
Absolutely professional quality.
Well, how about taking a look at Heroes Now? The latest one from Tom Fellrath.
Now?
Heroes Now. Now is the time for heroes.
Okay, we're huge fans of Tom Fellrath. Okay?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he did Heroes back then. He had another book, like Heroes Past. What was it called? Heroes Past?
Yeah, I think it was Heroes Past.
Excuse me. I'm getting old. I can't remember things from this second to that. But anyway, yeah, and that was a great zine and had a lot, reprints of some of the stuff that that Tom published back in the late 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
And here they are. These heroes are revived in new adventures now. And
Scott McClung does a story here that Tom wrote. And
my favorite small press artist, Scott
this
McClung.
is a revived character, kind of. She's a superhero, has a family and everything, and decides to go back into the superhero business.
The Accelerator.
Yeah, Accelerator.
Yeah. So it's like, almost middle-aged mom.
Yeah.
And suddenly decides, she's had these superpowers for a long time. She's raising a family and everything, just being a mom.
Yeah.
And there's a flood.
There's a disaster that she thinks she can probably help out. So she does.
So she goes into action again, and then I guess she likes it, and she says, "Well, then maybe I'll stick around and start doing this superhero stuff again."
Tom does an interesting thing, and he does it quite a bit. He starts the story out, just starts the story. Then when you get a couple pages in, he puts the title in the middle, kind of. Once you start it, it's kind of like movies have been done that way sometimes. They'll start the story, and then the title will come on. Tom uses that quite a bit.
And it's an effective sort of device.
Yeah.
This issue also has some other heroes. There's a hint of a rebirth of the Light. Doesn't really show the Light, but that's one of his old characters. But
I didn't know why this newspaper page was in here exactly.
I think it's a teaser.
Just for the Light, you think?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't quite sure.
And this is the Light by Lance Doc Butcher, or Boucher. Anyway, Doc, how do you pronounce your last name? I know you're watching this.
I always said Butcher, but I may be wrong.
Could be Butcher. That's what that's the way it looks to me. But this is an illo by him from a while back. That's the Light. So there's this hero. But it doesn't have a complete story in this particular issue, so it's something to look forward to.
Then he does a Patriots story in here.
Right.
The
and
Patriots.
If you were wondering if you were wondering what happened after the original Patriot, was killed, and what happens next, this is what happens next.
Yeah, this is what happens. And you don't, once again, Tom doesn't put the title until almost the end of the story. Then he puts the title,
it just starts.
The Gathering.
Yeah.
And it helps when he says The Gathering, it kind of helps you understand the last panel here in the book.
Yeah.
This one.
Beautifully illustrated by Tony Lorenz.
Tony Lorenz, yeah.
One of our favorite artists.
The Patriots in this, they have to go through kind of I would call initiation. They have a time limit on each thing that they have to do. And if they don't do it within the time limit, they're not a Patriot. So.
It's interesting because Jeff, the Patriots' original sidekick, he's older now, and he's evaluating these new Patriots for a sort of a Patriot team, apparently.
That's what he's doing. That's him right there.
Yeah.
And so
and find
out who makes, by reading this, you can find out who makes it to the Patriots and who doesn't.
Interesting. The guy that doesn't.
Good stuff.
That's kind of interesting. It's good reading.
And this one's $4. Mm-hmm. And let me see if it has a page.
I got to say one thing. There's this guy, and he's I've seen him online for a long time in his artwork, Guido Visione.
Mm-hmm.
Guido Visione, and his artwork is incredible. And he has the inside front cover, which is what's his name? The laser disc.
Laserdisc.
Guido Visione. Just look at that.
Cool.
Very
cool.
I see his stuff on Facebook. The United Fanzine Organization group, the public group. He publishes there a lot. And every day has something new. And wow, what a talent.
Yep.
And I like that back cover by Scott
cover,
McClung.
I was going to say, yeah. Yeah. That's the accelerator right there.
Yeah. Scott McClung.
Great
Kudos
stuff.
to Scott McClung. Always great stuff from him.
Oh,
he's one of the best.
Always. Okay, what do we got next here? Collector's Fanzine.
We can do that.
All right.
That's Alan Sissom.
Alan Sissom's Collector's Fanzine.
Collector's Link Fanzine.
Yeah.
And you want to see some amazing art. A lot of you know about Brad Foster. Maybe some of you don't. But here's the back cover. You were showing off the front cover, right? But that's also
this
by
is the back
Brad
cover.
Foster.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Look at that. And the interesting thing is there's a whole interview with Brad Foster in the book. So
Conducted by Jim Main.
Yeah, Jim Main interviews him. Let me see if I can find that so I can show you a picture. If I can find it. Here it is. And there is Brad Foster.
That's Brad. I met Brad one time.
Oh, have you? Oh, great.
He's apparently, I didn't know it until I read this interview, but he's been around since 1972 in small press. I met him in 86 or 87 at the Chicago Comics Convention. And I remember at the time, we exchanged a couple of zines, and I used to sign my name. My name is Steve Keeter. So the first initial is S, and the last name is Keeter. And if you just S. Keeter, it comes out Skeeter.
Yeah.
I quit signing it that way. But Brad, I remember he asked me to sign something for him, and I signed it. And he looked at me and he went, Skeeter. It was a little embarrassing, but I explained it to him. But no hard feelings. He's a great artist, great talent.
Yeah. Look at that cartoon there.
Yeah, the thinking caveman.
Yeah. Yeah. So great article about him in here. And of course, our good friend Larry Johnson has a story in here.
Gray Silk,
Gray Silk.
which is
And this is
fascinating.
quite
and
a lengthy little story here.
Yeah, it's an adaptation of a story written by Rick Howell.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us remember Rick Howell. He passed away, well, at least a
Yeah.
decade or so ago. But he wrote a text story like this, and he was a great writer. Rick was a superb writer. He used to review small press comics, and he went in depth, and it was always interesting. There's a picture of
There's a
Rick
picture of Rick
right
Howell.
there.
And he used to send me quite a few things, always. Yeah. And when I was doing the Buffalo, White Buffalo Gazette, he used to contribute to that. And he used to send me, he did a comic, kind of a serious one. The name slips by me. I wonder if it's in this article.
I can't remember right now.
Topical. It was called Topical
Studies.
Yeah. He would always send me a copy of Topical Studies.
It was amazing because he talked about small press comics, and he wasn't flippant. He didn't just dismiss things. Oh, this was good. This was bad. He went in depth into comics. And, one review would go on for pages, and it was fascinating. It was a little flattering to see someone paying that much attention to the work that you had done,
Doesn't Mike Tuz, doesn't he do that also? Mike Tuz. He does that too.
He's one of the best.
In depth. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't see much artwork these days. Mike Tuz can draw and he can write, but basically he writes great letters of comments.
Yeah.
They're articles in themselves.
Yeah. But before we forget now, there is another story in here called Crimson Dawn.
Can I say something about this Gray Silk story? If you read the story, it's a strange story. You got this woman, this lady, who was a princess in her time, and she discovers, through a series of events, she discovers the secret of eternal life, or almost eternal life, and slows down the aging process. The thing is, she finds that whenever she moves, or any slight move would accelerate the aging process. So she wanted to stay young forever. She ends up wrapping herself up like a mummy and just laying there and not doing anything.
That's a great existence.
I mean, and so this is her, even the guy she's in love with, he commits suicide. He can't deal with it. And look, and the art, Larry Johnson's artwork, always good, much appreciated. Such nice work.
Yeah.
And but that's her existence. Okay, she's found eternal life. She can't move.
She can't move or do anything. So it's exactly like being dead.
Right.
Basically.
It's a different kind of death. So that's really weird, and it's ironic too,
Yeah.
And Larry Johnson did a great adaptation of the story.
I just wanted to mention this Viral Holt Bond story is also in here, The Crimson Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that's in there. That's about
with Burl's
3 or 4 pages long.
Artwork. Two people. It's a post-apocalyptic story.
Yeah, and he wrote the story also. He wrote it and illustrated it.
And he illustrated it. His art is so very realistic.
Yeah.
And these two people meet each other in battle. It's a man and a woman, and she's bald because she's been exposed to radiation. And they have a fight. He wins the fight. She's slightly wounded, but she's not dead. Then they end up falling in love.
Naturally.
And they have a child, beginning to rebuild civilization after the Holocaust. So, yeah. It's a cool story. It's kind of moving.
Also has the Xenology Report by Alan Sissom. Reviews a number of publications here.
Mm-hmm.
It will give you an idea of something you might want to order.
Alan he's great at reviewing. He really hits the nail on the head, talking about specifics, and he's great at publishing. He's an excellent writer, excellent artist, and this is an excellent zine.
Yeah, it really is. Really is.
Yeah.
It's got a discussions page in the back. People write in. It's got all kinds of things. It'll keep you entertained for quite a while.
Great works from Alan's system.
Excellent publication. Very good. I like that a lot. Well, let's see. Do you have after that?
I got Pinocchio.
Pinocchio, okay.
Pinocchio and Mr. Hyde.
Pinocchio and Mr. Hyde.
Issue number 2.
Mm-hmm. And this is Adam Rodriguez, and we've talked about him before.
Yeah.
$5. Issue number 2, and it's he is one interesting fellow. His artwork is, very sketchy, very, very loose and sketchy. This is Pinocchio in here. And it switches kind of from Pinocchio to
Mr. Hyde, for one thing.
Mr. Hyde, and I'm trying to find the pages, and I just dropped it.
And there's an orangutan.
Mr. Hyde and
Louis Pasteur.
Louis Pasteur. Now,
knew that's where you were going.
Those two connections is amazing, but nonetheless, he does it in here.
Yep. And Pinocchio and Mr. Hyde have become pals. If you saw the previous issue, you would know about that.
Yeah.
Here we have Pinocchio passing by the Rue Morgue.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little Edgar Allan Poe in there as well. And it's crazy. Adam is such a genius. He takes all these characters from
and puts them in his books
and history and puts them all together. I think he says that,
Pinocchio passes by a caged gorilla. I think it's a gorilla.
It's an orangutan.
Oh, an orangutan. Okay. And the orangutan wants to shave, apparently.
Pinocchio's a good guy. He gives him a blade.
He gives him a razor. And there he is in the back page with the razor. I don't know what he's going to do with that razor. But if he tries to shave himself, he's going to be full of Band-Aids, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Anyway, amazing stuff.
Brilliant. So funny.
And there's a bunch of little ads for stuff on the back. Adam has a great web page.
What's this? Hallucinogenic licking frog.
Licking frog you can get. And that'll cure all your woes. You give that frog a lick, you are in good shape after that.
Here's a medicine called some tablet, Funkadol.
Yeah.
Funkadol here for life's continuous crap. So
I noticed one thing on Adam when he advertises his webpage here. He misspells his own name, which I think is interesting. He forgets the R in the Rodriguez on the bottom. Right down here where he puts in the address to the web page.
Yeah.
He forgets the R in Rodriguez.
AdamRodriguez.com. Nope. You're pointing at the Academy
on the back. AWR. The big AWR.
AWR.
Yeah. On the back. Look down at the bottom.
The bottom of that illustration?
Yeah. Where it says
Adam W. Rodriguez. I see the R, Larned. You don't see it? Might be hard to
There's
make
an
out.
R missing right in front of the I in
Oh,
Rodriguez.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
There's another R.
Yeah.
Rodriguez. Rodriguez. My apologies. There was a technical glitch, folks.
Yeah, we had a glitch. We're back now, and we're unglitched.
Yeah, and we can talk for at least 8 minutes and 51 seconds before they try to cut us off again.
Zoom has decided to only allow 40 minutes for the free show, unless you want to upgrade. And so far, we haven't upgraded.
Okay, if you missed it, folks, Larned said there was an R missing from Adam Rodriguez' email address. And I said it wasn't missing, but guess what? It was missing. I just did here. There's 2 R's in Rodriguez.
Yeah, you forgot one.
The second R is missing.
Yeah.
Right here.
So if you're looking, fix your R.
Who knows? Maybe the email works that way. I don't know.
Maybe it does. Oh, no, it doesn't, because I tried it.
Yeah.
All right, we got, you have after that?
I don't have that one.
Okay, all
But
right.
I got Maelstrom.
Okay, we'll do Maelstrom. Just a quick note, this is after that by Micah Liesenfeld. And this is the last one that Micah is going to do. And he's looking for people to take over after that. He took it over. And he's been doing it for a while. And if you'd like to see this continue, if you like to do this kind of a thing, kind of a review of comics, after that is going to be available. Now, this particular issue is an interview with a great cartoonist by the name of Dimitri Jackson, who lives in St. Louis here. And here's a little bit of his work.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, really, really excellent cartooning.
Wow.
And when I say cartooning, it's not illustration, it's cartooning, which I think is a little different. And this is great cartooning. But
I like
the
whole
book is an interview with Dimitri Jackson about what he's doing and things like that. He has a comic called Black Wax Boulevard, and it features music most of the time, but it's a comic. And anyway, if you can, I'll put Micah's info in the description. You might want to get this and read about Dimitri Jackson. So that's that.
Maybe I'll have it by next time. We've been getting a lot of stuff. We got so much stuff here. We got enough stuff for a couple more episodes at least.
Oh yeah, we're going to be back very shortly because we've got a lot more already. We already have them in our possession. So
sneak preview. Here's some stuff by Clark Dismeyer.
Okay, I don't have that yet, but I think it's coming.
It's not one. He sent me like 6 issues of
okay.
of this character who is Mushy. And Mushy, he's a giant mushroom.
Okay.
There's a lot of other stuff.
But anyway, this is Maelstrom.
Ooh, look at that cover.
Look at that cover.
That's Mike Kaluta. Mike Kaluta.
But this book is probably the best, most professional looking book of this type that I've seen. This is amazing.
Russ is by around for a while. Russ Maheras.
Russ Maheras. He writes most of the articles in here himself. Does a tremendous amount of the artwork in here. And he's, of course, an excellent artist.
Yeah. Well, there's some funny stuff that he did there. With the Mighty Thor and Captain America.
Yeah.
And you know, I've known Russ for decades, and he's a former Air Force guy and a soldier, and you know, he writes some stuff. A lot of stuff he writes is from that perspective of having been in the Air Force. I think he was
There he
Master
is in
Sergeant,
some younger days, right there at the drawing board.
he was
I
older
don't know
than that
when
when I
was
first
from.
met him.
Huh? How
He
long
was
have
older
you?
than that. I first met him in Chicago Con, also in the 86, 87, in
Yeah.
that area.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Russ is great. He's
Oh, look at
fine
great
talent.
artwork here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
he's written most of the articles in here are by him. And there's a lot of articles.
Oh, he's talking about Gene Simmons
Gene
there.
Simmons,
Or
yeah.
Gene Klein.
Actually drew cartoons.
He actually was involved in small press in the late 60s and early 70s.
I had no idea. I saw Gene Simmons on an airplane one time. I was getting on the plane, and he was sitting in the very first seat with one of the other guys from KISS. And I had to stop kind of because the line getting in the plane stopped, and I stumbled forward and almost fell in his lap. But he never even looked up. He didn't even acknowledge that I was there.
Yeah.
He just kept his head down like that.
I think by that time he was used to dealing with crowds.
Pretty famous at that time, yeah.
Yeah. So Gene Simmons. I saw KISS live in the late 70s with the original lineup after they reunited at the Orlando Arena here, which it's not called that anymore. I think it's called the TJ Waterhouse or something like that. Haven't been there in so long, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he used to be involved in comics, and
yeah, interesting.
so Russ writes all about that. Gives us some history.
Another Russ Maheras illustration. Look at that.
Yeah.
And he's a real pro.
Complete with dripping blood.
Yeah.
And Russ has gotten better over the years. You know, he was always good.
But
he was always good. I think I detected in the early days, I would detect a slight Kirby influence. It wasn't a Kirby influence from the 60s. It was more like a Kirby influence from maybe the early 60s, but the mid 60s. But he was influenced by that. But he grew on to develop his own style, and he got better and better.
He's got a couple interesting things in here. I'm going to go back to the front where he talks about his interest in comic sketch cards. And the first one he got interested in was the Mars Attacks. Yeah.
The classic
those
series.
Were, I guess, bubblegum cards at the time.
Yeah.
And he does an article about that. But then in the back, he talks about the art of sketch cards, talking about how to do them.
And he was actually contacted by Topps.
Yes, he was. That's what it says. Yeah.
And asked to.
And he did work for Topps. Yeah, he did work for Topps. Yeah.
And he did apparently he did a lot of work. I missed it. I wish I didn't, you know. But here's and this isn't the Mars Attacks cards, but this is a picture of some of the stuff he did for DC Comics sketch cards.
Yeah, look at that. And amazing.
Good gosh, look in beautiful full color, dynamic, exciting, and wow.
Yeah.
Distinctive, you know. So
fantastic.
I didn't know Russ was doing. You know, I lost track. Russ, I lost contact with you a while back, and I'm glad to see you have prospered.
He did the back cover.
It's really great.
He did the back cover also. I'm getting a reflection on it, but
yeah, in 2019, Russ Maheras.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that.
There we go. Yep.
This is quite a publication. This is number 9 with no price. I don't see. I think
it's it's $9.
Okay, because I didn't see a price. It's not on the cover.
I'm pretty sure it's
number $9. Okay, we found out that Melstrom is $12 postpaid, and you can get it on eBay. So great.
Right, order from Russ Maheras. It's well worth it. Worth it.
Oh yeah. Like I say, one of the most professional books I've seen. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm still Oh, it's got a great, there's a great picture in here. It's from, Russ, he was with the Air Force for many, many years, and he became an advisor. Later, he became an advisor. He writes about this in the issue, sort of an advisor on motion pictures and comics and stuff uh, for the Air Force, for people who are interested in getting it right. In fact, there was a, I think, uh, around the year 2000 or 2002. Okay, I don't have the exact article right here. I'm looking at the same picture. There you go.
There he is.
Where is it? Russ
Right
Maheras
Yeah.
with the original Captain America shield that's used in Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
As a matter of fact, he may have been Captain America. I'm not sure.
He might be. He might be. He's lived that kind of life. And
Yeah.
Russ is a great guy, and he served his country as well. And he was an advisor on Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Wow.
He talks about, in one of these articles here, he talks about how a group of comics professionals were invited to this Air Force base for a tour, and how they explained to these people who are writing stories how to get it right. What was what the facts were, and so they don't write stories that are
So it makes sense.
filtered.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s, Marvel Comics was invited. They were supposed to show up, but they didn't show up. They canceled like 2 days ahead. DC Comics sent a bunch of people. Archie Comics sent some people, and Russ was able to give them a tour. Russ and his friends, his compadres, were able to give them a tour of the base and explain a lot of stuff.
Wow.
That would, make for more accurate storytelling.
Sure.
And
So that whole, I didn't get a chance maybe to read that one, but that whole article's in here about that?
It's in there. It's in there.
Yeah.
Like
Here's
so Russ had an influence on
he sure did.
superhero movies and television series and everything.
That
came after the year 2000. Russ was involved with that.
What's interesting to me is this is number 9 for the spring of 2022. I can't imagine how far back they go, because this seems like it would take a year to write all this.
I think the first issue might have been in 1972.
Okay. So it does go back a ways.
He goes way back.
Yeah.
Like me.
Yeah. And me.
Like us.
Us.
He goes back a ways.
Yeah.
Russ is as talented, and he's as enthusiastic, and he's carrying on. He's not slowing down at all.
That's good.
That's good to see.
Some beautiful work, man. He's an excellent artist, that's for sure.
That's something else. I mean, I keep finding stuff. There's so much stuff in here.
I saw that Steve Canyon,
and apparently Russ actually he drew this.
Okay, let me look at that, because maybe I did not catch that.
Milt Caniff died a couple of decades ago, but Russ actually drew an episode of Steve Canyon. I believe that's right. I think this is Russ's artwork. And he did it for the Air Force for something, but 60th anniversary comic strip was published simultaneously by Air Force Times, Army Times, Navy Times, and Marine Corps Times. So,
and he did this?
Yeah.
I wrote and drew a fully authorized Steve Canyon U.S. Air Force 60th anniversary comic strip.
Excuse me.
That is pretty cool.
Ginger ale in between. But so this is brilliant. I mean, wow. Russ can draw in different styles.
Yeah.
He can draw in different genres. And this is just terrific work. And,
look at Steve Canyon there. Look at that in that panel.
That looks like Steve Canyon.
I mean, that's perfect. Just perfect. Wow. That is amazing. Great
Wow.
stuff in here.
So he's been involved in a lot of stuff, and
Yeah.
after all these years, he hasn't slowed down a bit, and he just keeps getting better and better. Russ, we're proud of you, my friend.
Yeah,
You're still
really.
as great as ever. In fact, greater than ever. So
Well, I think
we're
that's
flattering you too much.
I think that's all we have for this episode.
Yeah.
But make sure you subscribe and click that bell notification so that you know when our next episode is coming up. And if you'd like your comics highlighted on our show, featured, whatever you want to call it, you need to send me a copy and Steve a copy, which is kind of a pain, but that's the only way we can do it. So
it's worth it because we give great reviews.
Well, we try and promote the comic rather than tear the comic down.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're here to serve you.
Anybody-
We're here to promote small press.
Anybody who does this kind of thing puts a lot of work into it, no matter how talented they are or how talented we think they are, doesn't matter. Once you come up with a story in your mind and you illustrate it, that's a comic, as far as I'm concerned.
I'll say something really quick here before
Okay.
we go. My friend Rob Cooley, who has the most distinctive style, I'll show it right here. But he sent me a message and he said that his copier was broken down and there wasn't a Kinko's nearby or anything, so he had a problem, and I decided to help him out. He sent me a complete issue of A Strange and Chaotic World number 15, and I said, what the heck? This is a pal, and this is what small press is about. We promote each other, we encourage each other, and I went ahead and printed the thing for him, and this will be printed it up for him. I copied it
great.
for him. So this will be out very shortly. Maybe we'll talk about that in the next video.
Okay, that'd be great.
But, I just mailed the copies to Rob, and he'll be mailing those out shortly. And I sent one to you too, Larned.
Oh, great. Okay.
All
right, looking forward to that. And like I say, we've got a number of comics for the show next time. So make sure you keep an eye on us. We'll be right back, probably in another week. So that's it for this one, and we will see you next time.